guys, it's Mamie. I hope you are well. I have a book chat video for you today, so let's dig right in. I've read 3 books recently, so I thought I would discuss them with you. The first book I read was The Trouble with Goats and Sheep by Joanna. This book's been on my TBR since last year. It's been all over BookTube already. I'm sure you're well aware of what it's all about, but to quickly summarize, it's set in 1976. Yes, 1976 England, and it's the hottest summer, I think, in forever or in a very long time. And it's set on the avenue. I think here in America we would say in our neighborhood, but they refer to it as the avenue, and that's all that it takes place at, is at the avenue. So different houses at the avenue. So it's about 2 young girls. They're best friends. Well, they're very good friends, Grace and Tully. And Grace narrates, is it Gracie or Grace? Grace? Yeah, Grace narrates. The majority of the book is narrated by Grace, and it's so cute because she's 10 years old, so it's from, through her eyes of seeing. And one of the neighbors is missing. Mrs. Creasy went missing, so Grace and Tully have taken it upon themselves to find her. This is their project, to find Mrs. Creasy. And while they're at it, they decide that they're going to search for God as well. So everywhere they look, they're searching for God and any signs from God. It is so cute. It's adorable. Now, as the book progresses, you realize that each neighbor has quite a few of their own secrets. And if they find Mrs. Creasy, their secrets might be revealed, because Mrs. Creasy was kind of, in everybody's business. So I think the majority of them want to find her, but some of them are quite afraid as well, because they're afraid their secrets could be revealed. So very, very cute. I think I had a smile on my face quite a bit reading this book. I will say, however, I was a little bit disappointed in the end, as I had so many unanswered questions. With that being said, I would still recommend it to anybody that just wants an adorable, quick, easy read. I would recommend it to anybody who's looking for that. But I gave this book still a 4-star rating on Goodreads. I really did enjoy it. I just wish that there were some, I wish it was wrapped up a little bit better to answer some of the questions that I had. Then the next book I read is called The Story of Arthur Truluv by Elizabeth Berg. This was my book club pick for March. Victoria, one of my members in our book club, picked this book, and it was amazing. I loved it. If you like books, Russell, I'm thinking of you, because Russell likes to read books about old people, mainly women, but this is about an old man. It's darling. If you liked, if you read A Man Called Uva, but he's not grumpy like Uva was. If you liked that book, and if you read Our Souls at Night by, I think is it Kent Harif? I'm not positive the author of that, but if you read those 2 books and you liked them, then I know you're going to love this book, because I loved this book. It's very simple, very quick, very easy, but it's beautiful. It's about an old man who goes to the cemetery every day to visit his wife, he's a widower, obviously. She has passed, and so he brings his lunch to the cemetery and sits at her stone and eats his lunch with her. Then all of a sudden he sees this teenage girl in the cemetery, so he's wondering what her life is all about, because she should be in school. So over time, the teenage girl comes and talks to Arthur. They become fast friends, and it's a story of their friendship and how it grows. Oh, it's beautiful. And then there's another woman. I don't want to tell you too much about the story, because I don't like to have any spoilers on my channel, but then there's another woman, a neighbor of Arthur. Oh, what was her name? I can't think of her name now. Lucille. She's an elderly woman in the neighborhood as well, and the 3 of them become friends. And it's just such a sweet story. I did cry just a little bit at the end, but I definitely smiled throughout the entire book because because she's a teenage girl, and so he's trying to learn, you know, to be hip, but yet she's a very smart girl, but she's very isolated, and she's being bullied at school, so she's having a really hard time in life. So Arthur, oh, he's just so good to her, and she learns a lot from him, and they build this beautiful, beautiful friendship. I highly recommend this book. I think I gave it 4.5 stars, only because it's not a 5-star, because some parts were rather predictable, which I was just fine. You know, I don't mind predictability, but I just wish it had a little bit of, you know, I wish I had a little bit more that I wasn't expecting anyways, but very, very cute. I highly recommend it. 4.5-star rating on Goodreads. The Story of Arthur Truluv by Elizabeth Berg. Go and read it. It's really cute. And then my last book that I read, I have mentioned Russell from Ink and Paper Blog on my channel numerous times. He has a Goodreads group, on Goodreads obviously, called Ink and Paper Blog. And on it there's a discussion, there's a couple different discussions. There's like different threads and different discussions of what he's currently reading, but then if you go down further, you will see it'll say, I can't remember, Around the World in 1,000 Pages or something like that. But you can join this group, and every month he picks a new book, and then you can, you know, have a chat with the group on the Goodreads group. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but anyways, for March he picked Purple Hibiscus. This is the first time that I have participated in his group. I basically, you know, I will join when the books sound interesting to me. So this book sounded so good, right up my alley, called Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I'm sure you all have read her. She's a wonderful author from what I'm hearing on Goodreads. This is my, or not just on Goodreads, but on BookTube as well. This is the first book that I have read by this author, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I couldn't put it down. I gave it 5 stars, easy. It's about a young girl, what is she, 13 I think? I know I'm not good with pronunciation of names. I would say her name is Kambilli. It's K-A-M-B-I-L-I, but I don't know the exact pronunciation of her name. Oh, she's 15, excuse me, she's 15 years old. And it's set in Nigeria, and she has a brother named Jaja, and her mother's name I think is Beatrice, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the father, Eugene, they're born and raised Catholic, but the father, Eugene, is very extreme and strict and bullies his family into submission, and it's all in the name of God, but it's disgusting because he actually hurts his family in many ways, more than one. I don't want to give anything away, but the father is worshipped in their town because he's very, very wealthy, and he helps people. He gives people money, and he donates to this and he donates to that, so everybody pretty much worships him. But it just disgusts me because he's so well received by the people, but yet his own family, they're petrified of him because they don't know what kind of mood he's going to be in, or what he's going to say that they sinned about, or whatever. So, oh, it was just sickening, but the book is so good, you guys. You have got to read this book. Now, Kambilli's, I'm not pronouncing it right, I know I'm not, but her aunt lives in a neighboring town who is Eugene's sister. Eugene is the mean father. And his sister lives in a nearby town. Well, she convinces Eugene to let the kids go and visit her for, well, she wanted them to stay a lot longer, but he said at first just like a day or two, but they ended up staying a little bit longer than anticipated because there's some political unrest going on, so he's supposedly protecting them by staying with the aunt, but really they're learning her culture because she's so nice, and they don't even understand because they're always laughing at her house. Like, she has children too, So the aunt's always laughing, and they're playing, and they're having a good time, and they're cooking. Now, these kids, Cambili and Jaja, were raised very wealthy, so they have servants to do everything for them. So I think I'm telling you too much, aren't I? I probably am. But anyways, it's such a good book. I could talk about it for hours. So it's so good. Set in Nigeria. I don't know what year. I don't think it even tells me that. But trigger warning, though. Just be aware that there is some abuse in this. So if that's something that you can't handle, you might want to think twice about picking this up, because there are some incidents in here that Eugene with the kids, some of the abuse that takes place. But the writing was absolutely gorgeous. It wasn't as hard. I just assumed, I don't know why, sometimes I dumb myself down, I think, sometimes, because I don't think I could read certain authors because I'm not smart enough for them. But this was very readable. It was very, I wouldn't say it wasn't easy or simplistic by any sense of the imagination, but it was definitely easy. It kept my attention. It wasn't too deep where I was confused, and it didn't jump all over. It was a beautiful, beautiful story. Purple Hibiscus. I think this was her first book, too. I know she has many others now, and I will definitely be looking into other books by this author, because I just could not put this book down. So, 5-star read for me. Anywho, have you read any of these books, you guys? I would love to know your thoughts on any of them. Or, if not these, what are you reading right now? I love to discuss anything in regards to books, so let me know in the comments below. Also, I will link down Russell's group on Goodreads. I'll in the description down below, I'll link his Goodreads group, so you can check it out if you want to join. I also have 2 other Goodreads groups that I sometimes participate in. Like I said, I jump around because whatever book seems, that I would be interested in, that's the group that I will join for that particular month. But Robin from the Driftless Reader, she has a group on Goodreads, and also Mel from Mel's Booklet Adventures, she has a Goodreads group as well. I'll link all 3 of them down below, and you can check them out, because they pick some really interesting books sometimes. So I hope you guys are well. Anyways, take care, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Happy reading.